everyone. Welcome to Menthol Protocol's sixth Twitter space. It's always a pleasure to have everyone with us today. And happy Friday. I hope everyone's week went well so far, and I hope everyone has an even better weekend. So once more, thank you on Menthol Protocol's behalf for joining us today. Last week was our fifth Twitter space. We reintroduced Menthol Force, led by our very own growth maverick, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel, for rehashing what Menthol Force is about and what we expect from our contributors and what we have to look forward to. And as always, we always have Amir with us, and he always gives us a few tidbits of valuable information about Web3, blockchain, what Menthol Force is up to, and what the future holds for Menthol Force. So today, the star of the show, Amir, as usual, he is our marketing guru. He is the one that plans everything out appropriately, and we all cross our fingers that everything works, and it usually does. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. And Amir, please take it away.
Thanks a lot, Ashley, also for the kind words. We've already discussed in the previous episodes that the disruption predicted through blockchain has not only been discussed in the academic literature intensively, but is in fact at the forefront, practically formed by projects in the Web3 market arena. This code by code, individual by individual, community by community. Hereby powered by Web3, communities can now leverage technology, financial, programmable ecosystems to align stakeholders around a specific case. So with Bitcoin and Web3, we have a new pillar technology out there with a strong disruptive power. It actually even has the power to transform the winner takes it all market of the platform economy we know dominated by Web2 markets, which basically catch the customer contact as well as possess the data access. So today we want to talk about a case which is solved or which is discussed to use Web3 technology as a pillar technology. We're talking about our climate crisis. And we even want to go a step further and discuss how the access and ease to use of impact tokens can accelerate climate action and corporate social responsibility at a fundamental level. We've discussed, so I'm just going to, before jumping into the beta release schedule and our go-to-market action plan, I just want to warm you guys a little bit up, dive into the Web3 market, talk a little bit about the points we've discussed. So as a starter, one very fundamental point is regeneration. It's in the name of ReFi, our strong movement of climate tech and Web3. Regeneration is to be seen as a second step of a two-step approach to solve the climate crisis. The first step, as we all know, carries our own responsibility to reduce our carbon footprint through new processes, thoughtful consumption, and innovation. After reducing our carbon footprint through those steps, there'll still be a remaining carbon footprint. And as we have a golden hour of time, meaning that there's not too much time left and we have to accelerate our impact, it's about, in a second step, assessing our remaining non-avoidable carbon footprint and offsetting it through the markets, which we know as the carbon offsetting markets. So taking a look at what regeneration means, we are talking about the concept of creating more value over time and allowing systems and designs to basically allow this, including stakeholder Mother Earth in this whole equation. Regenerative finance, we also talked about that very shortly, understanding it in its differences to traditional finance, in its ethics, fundamentals, and its strategy. We know that regenerative finance fosters circular systems, in contrast to traditional finance exploiting for short-term profits, bringing a lot of problems to the world. Also, if the market has, of course, its advantages in general, We also talked about refi guardians. So we shed light on different projects, all having the common goal of creating acceptance, awareness, and dissemination for refi. One main goal is the tokenization of green assets, and hence the embedding it into smart digital ecosystems powered through Web3. So now it's up to us, to the market, to leverage those technologies out there, those ecosystems, and hand in hand accelerate mass adoption of climate action to bring the climate crisis to an end, which is our main aim. It's been a hell of an experience to belong to the 20 core contributors of Menthol Protocol. Now is, as we feel, a very good time to self-reflect, to take a step back, take a moment, and relax. As we are reaching a very fundamental tipping point of our market entry strategy with our beta release. So we're really looking forward to that. And behind the core contributors of Menthol Protocol, we have a team of 20 exceptional individuals who have come together, covering all continents, from USA, South America, Bolivia, Germany, Turkey, Slovakia, Iran, Pakistan, and China. We love this very Web3 native approach and the dynamics in our team, allowing us to push Menthol Protocol 24/7. And that's why I would like to start by thanking the team members here and introducing them shortly. So I'm going to go through the order of our Telegram group, Menthol Protocol Core. We have our daily communication around the clock over here and coordinate for our daily stand-ups where everybody talks about what they're currently doing and if there are any blockers. So it's a pleasure to see Egeman at the top, the gifted backend developer whom I had great pleasure in going into the customer talks in like organizational or like interdisciplinary fields. You always have a selling team consisting of technological expertise, but also business and marketing. So it's a pleasure to go with Egeman into those calls. He's an awesome partner to have. Me being since over 10 years in sales, I know what I'm talking about. iTech is our second person from the 20 core contributors of Menthol Protocol. Every design, every social media post, every logo, it's his work, and there's more to see. Thanks a lot for your amazing work also on the beta and designing that. We've got Miche coming up over here. Miche has joined us, being an expert, one of a kind, turning her back away from oil and gas companies where she, of course, had resources and a lot of expertise around herself, allowing to become a strong climate expert and Web3 as well. So we're happy to establish thought leadership with Menthol Protocol in terms of the calculation of on-chain emissions, as well as on carbon in general, and brings expertise to the refi space through academic work. Thank you for sparing this, Miche. And we've got our Mert Gökay, a lovely gentleman who comes in and breaks up the processes, rebuild them in a way. The efficiency is amazing. So thanks a lot for having this uncomfortable job and challenging us to have, although we're a DAO and startup, corporate expertise and professionalism at the right points. We've got as the next Daniel. Daniel, thanks a lot. You have been an inspiring maverick for community and growth from day one, being an environmentalist, having experience with, 30 DAOs, you know very well. You've been working with. It was a true blessing for Menthol Protocol to have you on board, as for the entire team. Islam is our next core contributor. He spares the hit list. We are basically looking forward to onboard many Web3 and non-Web3 partners in joint action seeking climate positivity. Thanks for spearheading that. As the next person, I see someone very special, Munir Sultan Aban. That's my dad. my business partner in crime since over 10 years, jumping from a family business specialized on trade over to tech, over to Web3. That's really amazing, and a lot of my power and passion business comes from there. So thanks a lot, Ashley. Not only do I have to thank you for the introductions you always do, Dr. Ashley Kwali is an awesome person and individual, smart, fast, and basically wears many hats within Mental Protocol. So thank you for also, leading the introductions of our Mental Twitter spaces. We've got Manuel. We've almost made half of it. I'd maybe move on a little bit faster, but we've got amazing people on the team, and today is the right day to celebrate them. Manuel, our digital dynamo, he's holding with me in Berlin the Mental Protocol flag. The content, the posts, they come all from Manuel. He absorbs everything like a sponge and creates awesome content. It's such a pleasure to work with you. And thank you for all of this great output we can share with the community. Us, I've actually, the funny thing about working in Web3 is that many of us have never met in person, although we spend every day together since a considerable amount of time. Also, I had the pleasure of meeting him as one of the early contacts in Turkey, together with Mo, our CTO, whom I'll introduce soon. So you're a lovely guy, and I'm so happy that you're on board helping us and guiding us with marketing and social media with your experience. Summit, our legal eagle, has joined the team and is doing an excellent job in helping us going through all of the legal works we have, and basically holding a very important role, namely closing the partnerships and getting the partnership agreements as a basis for joint decentral refi as a first step out of the way. So thanks a lot, Summit. Coming from traditional finance and being very smart, legal eagles fits to you. Selim, our mentor wizard, is in every process involved at a time where it's needed. He jumps in, he supports. I learned a great deal from Selim, so I'm very happy to have joined the team. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Selim. Dennis, you're one of our tech wizards, helping us enchanting the world with climate positivity. So thanks a lot for that. Awesome work guiding the team and helping us bringing a great solution. Erdem, you're one of the block set warriors from the early days on, with 4 years of experience at the intersection of climate tech and Web3. Thank you for enriching the team and pushing Mental Protocols strongly. Moji is my partner for doing the demos, an awesome Web3 designer and developer. Just lovely and a true brother. Erhan, CEO of BlockZ, master of operations, getting everything in a nice structure and having all the best technological tools to help us solve those problems. Thanks a lot, Erhan. Gürkan, also front end developer of the BlockZ Warriors, always in a good mood, always looking to find the best solutions. Thanks a lot. We have 2 people left. Mo, whom I actually know the longest from this group. I learned a lot from him and saw up to him as a mentor. So thanks a lot, Mo. You're a thought leader of Mental Protocol. The white paper in its initial version comes heavily through Mo. He sees a way for easy access, and he led us to all build this in a joint effort. Lastly, we've got our Chinese full stack developer. We're so happy to have you on board, Jay. It's a huge pleasure, and I hope to soon to visit you. So now we've spent 12, 13 minutes. I think a worthy time of introducing the 20 core contributors of Mental Protocol, and I can't be excited to actually go a step further. and tell you about the story behind Menthol Protocol. Where does it actually come from? One very interesting timing was last year in March, when Elon Musk was reacting very harshly to Bitcoin's energy consumption, stating that decentralization is cool, but sustainability has to be first. So me personally, loving Web3, I saw the cost of energy as a necessity for a strong Bitcoin proof of work system. But he was right. And even much before that, 4 or 5 years ago, there were a few gentlemen, Mo, Erhan, and Selim, who founded BlockZ, the mother company of Menthol Protocol, you can say, basically having deep expertise at climate tech and Web3, allowing provenance tracking of renewable energy credits as a software as a service business for the energy industry, basically also supporting this green vision since a long time. I myself worked since 4 years in the Web3 space after having dropped out of my PhD, researching Web3, falling into the rabbit hole. So it's my greatest pleasure to actually fall into the next rabbit hole of refi. And this actually is a good point to start talking about values, as regenerative finance has a set of core values, which we have defined in our own way. So we've got a second article on Menthol Protocol. If you go onto our blog, onto our website, you'll see that, also on Medium. We've stated in the brainstorming a few values together, from community impact, regeneration, accountability, trust, and integrity. We've discussed on a deeper level those different values and explained why they're important to us. So regeneration, for example, as mentioned before, which allows to grow value over time, basically has to be understood in 3 dimensions, as I had the pleasure to learn at an amazing refi event organized by the Refi DAO. Shout out to you guys, you are really awesome. Regeneration can be understood on an ecological level. We understand that on an economical level with refi and liquid carbon credit markets and impact token markets. We also get that. But also, and maybe most importantly, is the social regeneration, to be understood on the individual level, but also on the community level. So the one of the wow effects when entering at the time Bitcoin and Block Web3 was, wow, we've got this new fair economy. We are talking about the God Protocol, written by Nick Szabo, I think end of the 97 or something like this, talking about a fair IT protocol, treating everybody in an equal manner. So very fast, if you take a deeper look into Web3, you see a very strong capitalistic system. So that was like a aha moment, which I hope to keep at bay in the refi space. And I have great hope that the values in refi will allow us to work stronger and nicer together, which is already, of course, very strong in Web3, right? I'm a big Web3 fan. So one ultimate value is unconditional love, which we have to have in order to work together. And this is, of course, something we cannot per se solve with a protocol, but that's what we deeply root in our community, striving to be 100% inclusive and living regeneration on all 3 dimensions. So now we've got 10 minutes left. I'm coming to the point where I wanted to talk about the agenda for today. So perhaps we'll have a bit a longer call today. As usual, we like to do a recap of the last call. And I talked about, very suitable to talk about that before our better roadmap, talking about Menthol's vision, the problem at hand, the solution, and next steps. We'd like to delve a little bit deeper in the second agenda point and talk about the theories of platform economy coming from an academic perspective, to understand the market dynamics and its fundamentals besides Web3, the technological stack and the financial ecosystems. This will allow us in a third step to understand Menthol protocol, what it's aimed to solve, who the stakeholders are, including Mother Earth, of course, and how basically those stakeholders fit together in an ecosystem of Web3 and non-Web3 players in this very interesting market arena of Web3. So I'm very much looking forward to that. This will be the last point before actually coming to the beta roadshow. The beta roadshow, I'll explain later, is very straightforward and easily explainable. So you can surely use your concentration now for the next parts. Let me just organize myself for a second. There we go. So we want to start talking about Menthol Protocol's vision. We mentioned in a few calls already, it's about making regeneration accessible, affordable, and integrated into everybody's life through easy-to-use smart tech, leveraging Web3. Hereby, that's our mission. Our vision is to be everywhere where climate action is needed. So where does Menthol Protocol come from? In the investor pitch, we usually start with a small joke saying, hey, you might have to join your tokens to the moon because the global climate crisis is real. The billionaires are already building the space shuttles to conquer another planets. Blockchains also have the problem as the users demand climate positive and positioned communities and technologies. That also comes from investors. And we don't have to look too far to see one climate catastrophe after the other. So I'll spare us of talking about the current ones, which are in the nowadays news. The problem is it's being tough to be sustainable. So especially coming from Web3, and our main aim in a first phase is to decarbonize Web3, it's tough to calculate your carbon footprint. There are different solutions out there which we want to curate and further basically source in order to have a crowd-sourced solution coming from the calculation side. So what are the on-chain emissions? How do they differ on different chains? And how can we effectively measure them? It takes a lot of time and effort to do this on a continuous basis. Maybe some models are outdated. You have to change some numbers. Also looking at the market, it was a very inaccessible market. So Web3 has brought a lot of liquidity, automation, ease of access into the inefficient carbon offsetting market. So besides the cumbersome process, you had huge trust issues, or still have. You might end up with low impact tokens. They might be double claimed. So they might even be completely fake. Against this background, and Blockset went through this painful process when wanting to offset their carbon footprint. So Selim can explain it very nicely at this point. However, against this background, Menthol Protocol was created and offers an end-to-end solution, starting with calculating on-chain emissions. Secondly, curating high-impact tokens. This is where a DAO comes into place. We want to build this here together and allow for true impact to evolve in an easy and simple and automated way. Of course, leveraging DeFi and other innovations, which we are very excited about to talk about. However, let's get to the third point. After calculating and curating, it's about curing those impact tokens and accounting for the carbon footprint you have. So we're starting with on-chain and on-chain use cases, but we'll, very eagerly, and we are already talking with off-chain B2B partners. How does Menthol Protocol work? Let's try and recap that again. It's super simple, so I won't have to talk too much. You simply have to set your climate target. Do I want to be 100% carbon neutral, or do I want to be 1000% climate positive? The second thing is, and that's like the best of Menthol Protocol, it's no-code integration and interoperability played a crucial role. from the beginning. That was Mo's um, big wish. So the second point is you just copy paste your smart contract addresses into the cool pool. That's the user account on Menthol protocol, where you also set your climate target, and you stake impact tokens, which will be consumed over the time according to your carbon footprint and the setting. You can also stake other tokens on Menthol protocol in those cool pools. Again, a cool pool represents individual or organization and allows to put their sustainability goals on autopilot. Talking about a few features, I just mentioned very shortly the concept of no-loss sustainability, basically not only plugging into the DeFi ecosystem to purchase in real time from the market impact tokens, but also actually leveraging DeFi to allow the users, the demand side, to stake a part of their treasury and use the generated interest to purchase the impact tokens and compensate for their carbon footprint. So this is like a no-loss sustainability or passive feature set. We are independent from green assets, so we do not want to sell our own stuff here. We want to offer the market the best impactful tokens out there. And we are targeting on and off-chain markets. So this was a bit about Menthol protocol. We've got awesome partners on our supply side whom we've published and also shed light on the refi guardians in general. We've got amazing technological partners whom we will disclose soon, with whom we're integrating. So we're looking forward to that very much. Now, after talking about Menthol protocol, we'd like to go to the second point, namely the theory of the platform economy, taking an academic perspective and shedding light on the fundamental market dynamics we're dealing here with. So from an academic perspective, or like a platform economic academic perspective, we can see Menthol protocol as a multi-sided platform, which basically connects and is tailored toward the needs of a demand and a supply side. Also, value-adding services and service providers can be part of this multi-sided platform. So we know many examples for that, as the Web2 platform economy. Companies are very well known. What are their market dynamics and what makes them so very different from the other markets and the competition there? Taking a look at the academic literature, we see that there are direct network effects and indirect networks effects which unfold and allow for a winner-takes-all market to be established. Direct network effects basically cover the growing value on the user side if more users are there. So in the case of Menthol protocol, that's the more users we have, the bigger our impact will be. In our case, representing the impact of the Web3 space as a start. Besides having this direct network effects, we also create indirect network effects, which like accelerate and create a strong bond within this platform through the supply side which comes. So now when a platform has a strong user base, different suppliers will come, they will innovate, they will try to basically conquer this market coming or accessible through this platform. We'll have value-added service providers. We are like happy to soon announce exciting partnerships with AI and data-driven solution providers monitoring actually the carbon credits and their true impact. So those are examples for value-adding service providers next to the suppliers of impact tokens, which can be seen over here. The challenge of every platform economy, like they're evaluated the highest platform projects if you like come from a startup perspective and financing perspective, because they're scalable and can grow very fast. The challenge is the egg and chicken problem which you have. So if you don't have the users, you won't have the suppliers, and vice versa. So it's difficult to launch a platform, and we've done a really strong job in also coming to the right time. We've got strong suppliers out there innovating, and we've got a demand side which is definitely there. Everybody wants to take action for a climate crisis, if we would go and start a campaign on the street, I'm sure I could catch many people and ask, hey, if you have an easy way to, conduct climate action in a very transparent way, wouldn't you account for your carbon footprint, maybe your historic carbon footprint, as well as your future carbon footprint? I know for a fact it works. When I was like, I think 21, I worked for WWF and was doing this job. I was stopping people on the street and asking them to basically sign a membership with WWF. So the need is there, and the supply is also there. Of course, it has to be fostered, which is why, we're excited about this whole refi movement. So a problem coming from a market dynamic perspective, I guess we'll talk for another 10 minutes, friends. I hope you can interrupt me also if you want to right away hear about the better, but I urge you to be a bit patient so we can understand a little bit, the market dynamics we have over here. So unfolding those strong network effects and conquering the market as the platform economy tends to do. One problem for the market is centralization, which happens here. A lot of power, which is concentrated around those platforms and basically making it very hard to compete, right? There's nobody wants to compete with Amazon. So that's just a small example for that. Now, that's what actually got me really hooked the following to Web3. Coming from this deep, platform economy, digitalization era, very quickly, we've got Web3 stepping in and shifting a new evolution, basically having the outspoken aim for disintermediation, taking the power away from centralized power structures. And as mentioned, even in literature, 1970 or maybe 90, we have to check, Nick Szabo was already writing about the God protocol, basically replacing third parties with mathematically proven code. So the Web3 shift as a disintermediator has in my eyes, and of course in many eyes, right? We're not many people I didn't invent that. That's what's known. It has a huge impact on business models coming from a marketing perspective. It allows completely new business model innovations. We discussed on a theoretical level what actually Web3 means. What are different criteria? Like one describing attributes mentioned were that it's decentral, right? Not only is it decentral, it's cryptographic encoded. So you can't act. You have to have, for example, the private key in order to access the funds associated with the public key. So not everybody can use it, but it's also not 100% anonymous. The third point, next to decentralization, cryptographic technology, which comes into place, is a token system which comes into place, an incentivization system, allowing this ecosystem to evolve and to incentivize the stakeholders around it. The example of Bitcoin be a decentral ledger storing transaction data. Basically, everybody can access that. It's cryptographic encoded, so you need your private key to access your funds. And the third point is that if you actually contribute to this ecosystem, in this case, if you validate transactions, so the decentral IT infrastructure can synchronize. If you do this job, which is the energy-intensive proof of work, which we know of, right? Basically, you get rewarded with Bitcoins. So you've got a new way to create token-centric business models. And this is exactly what we're doing here at Menthol Protocol. So DAOs, which describes how organizations can leverage technologies. At the end of the day, DAO can be like a private company, and it can be like the most open community-driven project. So it always depends on the execution. Usually in the beginning, it's more a strong team, and then evolves into a state where the community actually takes over the DAO. So tokens can be used to incentivize those, but also within the business model, weaved in the different features, this token can play an important role, especially when incentivizing the stakeholders according to the aim of the project. So looking at Menthol protocol, we are having three main utilities for our token, which we want to launch Q1, maybe Q2 next year. We will have the access utility. That means when you want to open your cool pool or activate a cool pool of another project, you'll have to, basically have cool token, stake it into the cool pool, and anytime when you're not interested in the service anymore, you can take them out and sell them on the market again. So that's the access utility. The second point is its very central governance role. We are set up as a foundation, as a shareholderless structure, and truly want to concentrate the governance, the development, and also embrace the Web3 token-centric business models possible through this. Also, deep participation of the community in the project. So next to the access utility, the governance utility, we've got a third utility, which we've been discussing, and it's the quality assurance utility. So our refi partners with whom we can do token swaps, who can acquire cool tokens on the open markets, can actually stake cool token. And in case we've got a quality issue, this can be used as a assurance, as a token of trust, which the supplier has and of good faith. So this actually, I think it's now a good time to slowly move on to the next point, namely Menthol protocol, and what does that actually mean for us, what we've been discussing. I want to shortly shed light on the stakeholders. Those stakeholders will be essential for our beta launch. So thank you for your patience over here. And happy to walk you through whom do we actually mean, who do we want to have for our beta as an early user. We've got the supply side. We are seeing here a holistic set of tokenizers, of green asset ramps, of carbon credits, biodiversity credits. We really look forward to the vision of giving access to the whole market of impact tokens to every individual and organization, even reaching to social impact tokens after covering different impact tokens which are good for the environment besides carbon, biodiversity, and renewable energy credits. Those social impact tokens can be, for example, animal welfare tokens. And we see here a new possibility of corporate social responsibility as a service when looking at the off-chain B2B market. Next to the supply side, we want to enable with our tech. And we are so proud to have partners such as Flow Carbon, Regen Network, Nori, Moss Earth, Solid World DAO. There are many more to come. We are highly looking forward to partner with those projects and bring climate positivity and an easy-to-use business relationship between them and the users. So we truly do our best to offer regeneration as a service to our strong refi partner side. Of course, the demand side is of incredible importance. Decarbonizing Web3 is a nice aim, but it only works if the communities and the projects pull along, take the responsibility, and we just want to make it in a painless, hassle-free, cool way. So the demand side for the start, looking at Web3 and taking a classic market segmentation of B2B and B2C, we can understand the B2C as the individual user wallet holders as well as entire communities, maybe a trading community or a community of a project which want to reach climate positivity for their NFT project. Going one step further from B2B, we see different market players here. L1s and L2s are very interesting and important for us. We want to allow a top-down as well as a bottom-up approach with Menthol protocol. It's a permissionless system, but we really urge the organizations in Web3 to take matters into the hand, and we'll give them all the tools to make it as easy as possible, not only to get access to the best tokens out there, but to truly have their community part of this climate movement and form with us and search with us basically the entire green asset ramp tokenization market for the best impactful tokens. So next to the layer ones, we're of course also talking about dApps, NFT projects, DeFi projects, metaverse projects, gaming projects. We know that a very fast always use case for technology is gambling, right? A lot of use cases. When I was actually reading literature that was like 2017 to 18 for my PhD, they were like always complaining that blockchain only has gambling use cases because at the time they were like established fast. So it's such an honor to actually work on those other intersections of applications of Web3, especially against the background of climate crisis. So next to the demand side, we also have value-adding service providers. A shout out to Declimate. We're looking forward to great things here. So this was now finishing up the third point where we wanted to reflect on the different theoretical backgrounds out there. In general, my approach in life was, in order to, let's say, be successful, whatever that means for me, was to strive for a strong academic backbone. In Germany, you've got a lovely way to do that. You get even paid to do that. So I was fortunate. So it's good to shed light, taking this theoretical-based perspective. Now, in the second step, we took a look at Menthol protocol to understand the stakeholders and also the market arena, which is formed by those stakeholders. And that actually brings us to our last point. So it took us 41 minutes to actually get to the better roadshow which we have here in mind. So before I do that, I will very shortly explain again what a cool pool is. A cool pool is a technology which allows any individual, Menthol protocol is a technology which allows any individual or organization to create a user account, a cool pool, on Menthol protocol, accounting for their carbon footprint, starting with on-chain emissions, and then allowing them to purchase in real time and actually retire impact tokens, achieving a climate positive balance sheet for this individual and organization, and basically contributing to the Paris Agreement of going carbon neutral. So how will our better work look like? It's a very simple process. We will whitelist wallet addresses of partners who want to basically be part of our beta launch. So I'm talking to all tokenizers of impact tokens, to every refi project out there. We are talking to the entire demand side of the Web3 market, from any L1, L2, dApp, where to the different categories you can create a cool pool for us. Of course, our partners on the refi side already have amazing projects, and we've been working on a really interesting sales funnel. Coming from a sales perspective, it's awesome. Now we also have a strong, as mentioned before, strong business development sales team, and having direct relationships to awesome projects. Can't wait to share this news with you. Those partners, as well as every other stakeholder we mentioned, from our community over to the demand side partners, the value-adding service partners, everybody can come apply as a beta user. Once the address of the beta user is whitelisted, you'll be able to create the OG cool pools. You'll be able to add smart contract addresses to the cool pool and offset any Web3 project. We are, of course, following a multi-chain strategy, and naturally, starting with our beta version, we will not be immediately on every chain from day one, but we will work for this, very, very aggressively, starting with EVM-based chains. So that's basically, this very short part is actually the beta roadmap. So please reach out to us. You'll find on our website, and we'll also have a campaign and reach out to the partners whom we would love to have as our beta power users of the Menthol Force cool pooling the world. So basically, this application process will be super easy. Yeah, whitelisting your wallet address and cooling the world. We'll have a Medium article next week talking about our user stories and also summing up what I was mentioning today about the platform economy and stuff, understanding Menthol protocol at a deeper level and the impact we want to achieve. The following Medium article will talk about the beta users and how they can be onboarded. We'll be updating our Gitbook, we'll be updating our white paper, and we'll be basically sending out emails to those partners who would love to have on board. So thanks a lot for listening to all of this. I see Dennis from Neustadt an der Weinstraße, a dear friend. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We just met at the wedding of my friend last week. We see KlimaDAO. We see a few of our Nigerian community heroes who always push and motivate us and have been there from day one. So thanks a lot. And thanks, of course, also to Ashley, Kirkai, Daniel, and my dad for tuning in. I guess they were also Magnus. I also see you. Thanks a lot. This basically beta roadmap just took a few minutes. Reach out to us if you want to become a beta Menthol Force power user. And we are just so thrilled to get our product out there. We are starting with an audit. We are basically preparing and looking forward to have a full-fledged platform out there targeting non-Web3 and Web3 users. I'm super, super, super thrilled. Like, I can't thank the team enough. And actually, I don't have too much more to say. I can take a look at my notes. I've got a few questions prepared in case this introduction was too short, but I don't think this is the case. So, Ashley, I'll be happy to hand over to you after those few minutes. If you had any questions, please get in.
No questions, Amir. Thank you for the insightful speech, and your passion rings through in every Twitter space. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're always eternally grateful for everyone's participation. And like always, if you need to reach out to the Menthol team, we are on Discord, Telegram, on all our socials. Thank you again, and we will have our next Twitter space on Friday, so please tune in. Thank you, Amir and Daniel. And welcome, Baba.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye-bye.